Buyer, and I'm excited to be hosting today's webinar with my colleague, Patricia Batista. Patricia will be walking us through some of the website content shortly, but before we get started, I'm just going to do some basic introduction and housekeeping information. So for today's webinar, we are going to walk through the newly debuted MCTAC and CTAC websites. We're very excited about this new website. In the tradition of our Technical Assistance Center, whenever we release or debut a new tool or resource, we always are sure to host a webinar to walk our providers through the tool or resource to make sure that everyone really can use the tool or resource to the best of their abilities and navigate everything smoothly. So today, we are having our webinar on the new website. In the coming weeks, just as we've done with other new tool and resource releases, we often circulate some guides or tips on how to best use the newly released tool. So we will also be doing the same thing for this webinar. I want to take a moment to plug our email listserv. If you are not already signed up, we do have 2 email addresses, and we want to encourage you to sign up for the listserv as well as to stay tuned to the MCTAC website for the guides as soon as they're released. Since going live with this website at the end of July, we've had about 400 downloads of different resources and tools and webinars in the first 2 weeks. In the first month of going live with this webinar, we've had over 4,000 unique page views, and we really pay attention to these data and analytics because we use this feedback and information to inform our continuous quality improvement process of always making this website more useful and more helpful to everyone that utilizes it. So a few items of housekeeping before we dive into a walkthrough of our new website. We are recording this webinar, just as we do for all of our webinars. It will be posted to the new website in the coming days. For those, just a reminder, for those of you who might be listening to this recorded webinar in the future, all of the content is updated and relevant as of today, which is August 11th, 2016. I say that only because we might be making adjustments as we move forward on the website, and I just want to be sensitive to the fact that we are recording this on the 11th of August as of today, so that's what all the information is relevant as of. Finally, we do ask that you please chat in questions via the chat box on the right side panel of the WebEx feature. We'll have some time at the end for question and answer. If you do have any questions about very specific trainings on a specific date or webinar, we are going to walk through how to find things on the webinar today. But if you have specific questions about a particular training, we would recommend that you email us at these email addresses that are on the screen currently, the mctac.info@nyu.edu or ctac.info@nyu.edu. We'll be able to get your email and help you find the specific or particular PowerPoint or webinar that you're looking for. So with that, I'm going to get started, and I'm going to pass along the presenter mic to my colleague, Patricia Batista, and we're excited to share this website with you. So with that, we're going to share our screen. And we'll be, okay. Thanks, Patricia.
Thank you, Meg, and thank you for such an awesome and warm introduction. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you all today and speak about our new website. So welcome to the ctacny.org website. I'm just going to highlight here on top that this is our new web address. That's ctacny.org. However, if you still have bookmarked the old MCTAC website or CTAC website, don't worry about it. It will automatically redirect to our new website. So just a little tidbit of good news there. Before we start, I do want to highlight some of the features that are on the home page. I do want to highlight that at the top, we do have our new co-branded logo. It can also be used, it's present on each of the pages, and it can also be used to quickly get back to the home page if you ever need to find any information that's directly there. We also have our menu that shows the different tabs and the main central categories for finding information. So we have the About, news, trainings, tools, our self-learning center, and our contact information. And if you're wondering what that little figure is there, that's what we call the toggle bar. So that's something that will show up if you're on your iPad, if you're on your cell phone. This website is responsive. So not only can you see it on your computer at work or at home, you feel free to look at our website on your cell phone, your iPad, or any kind of smart device, and you can find it. I just want to show you that you can open this toggle bar, and you will also see the menu there. We also have this feature that you'll see a lot within the website, which is these plus signs. So they prompt you to open to see more information. So I'm just going to open these here, and you can see the entire skeleton of the website. So within, we have our About, our News, CTAC and MCTAC events, our large training menu with the 5 institutes, our Tools function, our Self-Learning Center, and our Contact. And to get out of that, you'll see this little X button on the right-hand side, so I'm just going to click that, and we are back to our home page. The next feature that I would like to highlight is that we have our scrolling sliders on our home page, and you'll see this feature a lot throughout the website. So to quickly go through, we have a slide prompting us to view our training. We have this slide that prompts us to register for upcoming events. Then if we go to the next, we have one that will redirect you directly to our tools. And then the next slide speaks a little bit about the partnership and who are all the partners that make up MCTAC and CTAC. Additionally, on our home page, we also have the latest information. So we have announcements, as well as there will be some features on some tools. So you can click View More, a little bit about CTAC and MCTAC, and a little bit about searching our trainings and tools, or what we like to call our training widget, and I'll get back to that in a little bit. So I just want to highlight what's the rest of the information that you can find. As always, we have a Stay Tuned button. So like Meg said previously, if you have not yet signed up to receive our wonderful emails, newsletters, announcements about upcoming events, please do take a moment after the webinar today to sign up and make sure that you are signed up. And we have this lovely button, so if you are scrolled at the button, you can click it and it'll go automatically to the top of the page. So that's a little bit about our home page, but I do really want to get into the meat of it, so to speak. And one of the large questions that we've had, and based on the feedback we've received, is people will say, how can we find our trainings? How can we find our webinars? There was a great training just last week. How do I find that? Well, those are all awesome questions, and I'm going to go to 2 different methods. So based on your preference, you can find exactly what you need. So I'm going to start with method number 1, and that is by searching our handy-dandy tool, which we call the training widget. And so it is on our home page. And so if you scroll down on our home page, and it's also located on a couple of other places within our website for your convenience, but I'm just going to place my mouse over it so you can see the whole. This is what we like to call our training and tool widget. This is a wonderful tool in which you can find all of our training and tools, and by all of our training and tools, I mean all of MCTAC and all of CTAC from the beginning. Now, this enhanced search function or engine can allow you to find information by a number of ways. So you can find information by the tool or title. You can look at it and say, hey, I want to, maybe see what are, some trainings and tools that have come about in the last month. You can also find it by our institute and category, and we'll get a little bit more into that. So, I want to find business best practices, or I'm looking at, I want to see everything that's under professional development. You can most certainly do that. If you have a certain presenter that you're looking for, we have all of our presenters from every single training, and you can see that they are placed in alphabetical order by first name. And then we also have it by our training keywords. So you'll see a number of keywords also in alphabetical order, and you can find trainings there. So I am going to just test it out and show you a couple of ways Now, in terms of finding a training or tool, you can place in as many fields as you would like, but please keep in mind, like any search engine, the more information that you put in, the more limited your results will be. So I'm just going to test out a number of searches, and I'm going to use some common fields that I've received based on feedback. So I'm going to type in the word contract on our keyword, and then once you hit that, you can hit the enter button on your computer, but we also have this button called apply. And so I'm going to click the apply button, and voila, you're going to find a number of trainings that have the word contract or contracting. Now, the other thing to remember is if you make your keywords very specific, you know, making things plural or things like that, that will limit your results. But, you know, you will find the information that you're looking for. So here we have a number of trainings. Each of the arrows, if you click on the arrows or if you click on the link, it will open the training itself. As you know, the same way that we did it with our CTAC and our NCTAC website, we do ask you for a couple of fields of information, and this will allow you to view the training. So I'm just going to test it out. I'm going to place in my name. Well, I misspelled my own name. Okay, Patricia Batista. I am with Mick Silver. Clinic name, I'm going to place an A. And in tab, this will ask you for your real email address. So I'm going to put in my NYU Mick Silver email address. And as soon as I place in all that information, I'm going to hit submit. And once you place that information, you will receive this green message with this check mark. And it says you can now view this training/tool content. And on this training page, you will get the title, the date when it was originally placed, what institute. So if you ever want to go back and you want to see, okay, what kind of, you know, what other pieces of information, you can start to see how things are categorized. And so this is placed within the business best practices. You will see the presenters. There is an overview, and that is the same overview that's usually provided within the emails, or, you know, a summary of, you know, what transpired throughout this webinar, and then some keywords. So if you want to then play around and learn or see other things that are within these keywords, you can see how this was categorized. Now, so here I also want to highlight that this is the YouTube video based on our channel, but this has been embedded within our website, so you should be able to view that. There is this large play button here, so I am going to play it. And so it does pop out for your convenience, and you can begin to see. I'm just going to pause that so that there's not too much of voice, and you can hear me clearly. But this does play the entire video. It shows you, and you can pause and play. If you are able to see YouTube at work, or if you're not at work, you can click on it and expand into YouTube if you want, or if you want to display that on a larger screen. You also can, when you're done, hit the close button. I do also want to highlight that we have this download button. And when you click this download button, you will automatically be redirected to the slides. You can print the slides, you can download the slides, and you can just go back, and you can also search additional tools. So I am going to do another search, and I know that we had a number of wonderful webinars for the children's, exactly. So we had the SPA. I'm going to click in SPA because I know we had a number of wonderful webinars and state trainings all over recently in the month of July. And so I'm going to hit SPA in the training tool and title. Once again, I'm going to hit apply. And once you hit apply, you will see that a number of trainings come up. Also, some trainings that are not within SPA specifically. So, for example, there is a training here called Beyond Speaking Spanish. And so since it also has the word, the letters SPA, that also popped up. And so that is just another example. I'm going to do one more. I know that another question has been asked is, where can I find HCBS training and resources and tools? And so I am going to put in the well-known acronym of Hcbs within our training tool and title. And I'm going to once again hit apply. And as you can see, we have a number of trainings that will come up, and you'll see some additional information. You will also begin to see that if there were cluster webinars or if there is a multi-part video or training, this is titled so that you know you are seeing part 1 or part 2, or that this is indeed part of a cluster webinar so that you are prompted to see the additional segments in that series. So that's one key method, and once again, that you can go onto our home page, and as you go onto our home page and as you scroll down, that's where you can find our training tool and widget. And that is the main method in which you can find trainings and tools. I am going to display another mechanism in which you can find the information that you are looking for. I'm going to, at the top on the menu bar, we have the menu item called Training. So I'm going to click the Trainings button, and we have some information that gives a little description about what we offer and what we do, and a little bit of information about training and technical assistance. And once again, we have our Training and Tools widget. But we also have the information organized in another way for you. And that mechanism is through our 5 institutes. And so the 5 institutes are listed below. I'm going to scroll slowly. And so as you can see, we have business best practices, services best practices, professional development, value-based practices, and last but not least, systems transformation. And for each of these, as you can see, if you want to learn a little bit more, we know that this is a new mechanism in which information is organized and can be found. This was truly done in a way or in a mechanism to kind of integrate both CTAC and MCTAC offerings. We do provide this description at the top, and we do give examples about what information that you can find, but we also prompt you to learn more. So every time that you hit learn more on each of these institutes, you will be prompted to its own page. And in the page, once again, we provide a description, and then we find these sub-themes. So as you can see, we have the information organized in kind of these subcategories. So within business best practices, you can find trainings in billing, Billing 101, children's system transformation, contracting, home and community-based services, or HCBS once again, managed care general information, our managed care introductory series such as our kickoff, and information for OASIS substance use providers, outcomes, plan of care, revenue cycle management, and utilization management. Well, here are the buckets, but once again, if you click on the buttons, it will open up, and this is not a unique push button, so you can actually open everything up if you would like, and you can see every single training that has been placed within this theme. So I'm just gonna stop for a moment so you can take a look and see what you can find under billing or billing 101 or contracting. So for contracting as an example, you can find managed care contracting, the provider's perspective, the contracting webinar for the rest of the state of providers, part 1, the contracting webinar for the rest of the state providers, part 2, our final findings and review, an overview and anatomy, so on and so forth. And you can open any of, or as many of these themes as you would like. And once again, as before, if you do indicate or click on that, you will be prompted once again to fill in your information. But once you fill in that information, you will have full access to that training and all the materials that were originally provided when the webinar aired. So those are the 2 main mechanisms by which you can find trainings and tools. Now, if you're looking for a specific tool, we did also think about that. And we wanted to create one central way that you can find everything that you need, that you're like, this is not a specific webinar, but it was a tool that was mentioned in the webinar, or there's a great CTAC tool that, you know, I would love to see that. And that's where we have our tools button at the top. I would also like to say that all the main menu items are also highlighted on our scrolling bar at the top. So I am going to, from here, click and view our tools. You can also do that by clicking on our tools button up at the top on the menu. And once again, we have a little bit of information about our tools. And then we have our custom tools. And so these were tools that have been created by CTAC and MCTAC to meet the needs of our consumers. And I'm just going to scroll down. Tools for your convenience have been placed in alphabetical order. And for each of these tools, there is a lovely description so that you can peruse and kind of shop around and kind of figure out which tool you want to click on. So as an example, we do have the billing tool, our consultant directory, the decision trees, our interactive online FAQ, our managed care language guide, and our MCO plan comparison matrix. And once again, like you've seen at many points within the website, anytime that you see an addition button, that just prompts you to click a little bit more. And here we have our billing tool. And anytime that you click on these tools, it will open a separate page so that you do not lose the website. And here you will be redirected to our billing tool, and you can access and learn some information. And you can do that again. Let's just try one more. I'm going to click on, let's click on output to outcomes. And we also, when we do have webinars that explains the information for each of these tools, you can also learn a little bit more, and for your convenience, view that webinar while you're perusing and learning more about this custom tool. So I'm just going to, once again, click on the Output to Outcomes database. And as you can see, we have rebranded that and placed that with the new MCTAC and CTAC logo as well as colors. And so this has opened a new page so that I do not lose the website. And these are our custom tools. I do want to say that on the trainings, we also know that there are some wonderful New York State resources that are also very important as you begin to plan and are transitioning to managed care. And so these tools, once again, have been placed in alphabetical order. Some of these tools are PDFs. Some of these tools are links, as well as some Excel sheets. And so you can read the description and click on that. And once again, it will open up to a new page, and you will be redirected to that exact resource. One thing to mention is that when you access any of the tools for your convenience, you do not need to sign in the same way that you sign in for our webinars. And so here are our state resources once again, and they are immediately below our custom MCTAC and CTAC tools. And once again, as a recap, all of this information can be found on our menu in the Tools button. So we've gone through our trainings and we've gone through our tools. I do also want to highlight another feature which we call the News. And I'm going to click on that. And once again, you see the scrolling bar. And when you see these little buttons, it's because there's more information. It'll automatically begin to scroll. So here's a little bit about us. Here is a special feature for our webinar series on the social determinants of health. And when you first get on the page, you can be prompted to learn more and register for future offerings, both by CTAC and MCTAC. You will also learn more about the latest. We also highlight a current webinar. So we just had a webinar recently on the things that matter, addressing the social determinants of health. Coming soon, but currently under construction, we do have our calendar. However, in lieu of this calendar, we do have the CTAC and the MCTAC events page, and so I'm going to redirect. So here is a button So here's where you can find the events page like I said previously. You can also find it by clicking on our scrolling page at the top of the news, and it is also on our toggle bar. So if you go on the toggle bar and you hit CTAC and MCTAC events, here you will find all of our upcoming events. And so I'm going to click on that now so that you can see our upcoming events. And as you can see, we had, well, just right now, we have our CTAC and MCTAC website review. And then coming up on August 25th, we do have another part of our Social Determinants of Health series coming up on August 25th. We also will begin to post recent events, and as they go live and as we have access to the webinars, this will be an additional place where you can find that link. And so that is our upcoming events. So the last major thing, and just as a reminder, as we said previously, is that if you have not signed up for our wonderful webinars, if you want to reach out and contact us, you can reach us. This is our ctac.info@nyu.edu. We also have our mctac.info@nyu.edu, and we have our Stay Tuned feature. You can find this on our homepage. You can also find it, like I said, on the Contact Us page, and you can sign up to get those reminders and, you know, stay tuned for everything that comes up, MCTAC and CTAC. So that's just a quick share or review of our webinar and our most prominent features of the, the features that you will use the most. However, I do also want to distinguish the Self-Learning Center at the top. And so I'm going to click on that Self-Learning Center. So a good question that has been asked over the past 2 weeks is like, well, Patricia, or hey, Meg, what's the difference between the Self-Learning Center and our trainings? The main difference between us is that this is a self-learning center. So if you are part or if you sign up of a specific learning community, if you are looking to expand, take a deeper dive into certain aspects such as adult engagement or our program from CTAC, 4 R's and 2 S's, this is an online self-learning module with activities and trainings, and you can complete it at your own pace. And for some of these opportunities, for some of these trainings, there are some opportunities for certification. If you land on this page, but you are actually trying to view a pre-recorded webinar or training for CTAC or MCTAC, do not fret. We have an additional link. You can click on this link and you will get redirected to our website. However, if you are interested in the Self-Learning Center, we do encourage you, if you are a new user, you can sign up and learn a little bit more. And I do know that in the coming weeks, we will also share additional resources and guides so that if you are a member of a self-learning community or if you do join a self-learning community, you will be able to guide and navigate this portal. And with that being said, this is pretty much the completion or overview of our website, ctacny.org. At this moment, I'd like to thank you all for all of your wonderful feedback. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Meg.
Thanks, Patricia. So we are going to take some time, excuse me, to do some question and answers. So if you have questions that you haven't chatted in already, I'm just going to encourage you to chat them into us. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a moment so we can look at the questions that have come in. Okay, so first thing, someone has a question around where to find the matrix tool. That's a wonderful question. Yeah. Okay. So the best way to find that tool is that at the top of the menu, you're going to see the Tools button, and you're going to click on the Tools button, and as you scroll down and see the Custom Tools section, you will find all the tools once again in alphabetical order. Please scroll down to the End section, and you can find the matrix. Okay. Thank you, Patricia. Another question we have that I think you actually highlighted, but I think this is a great thing to just refresh on. So an Hcbs provider just reached out to us, and they're looking for kind of all of the Hcbs resources that we have. Okay. Could you direct them to the best place maybe to find those resources?
Absolutely. If you are looking for all information that is Hcbs, the best way to go about it is you can use the search widget, but all of our Hcbs information is currently under our Business Best Practices Institute. So starting at the beginning of the menu, I would click on Training, and as you scroll down, you'll see the information for the 5 institutes. Under Business Best Practices, I would click Learn More, and as soon as you will see our themes and categories, and you will see the long title, so Home and Community-Based Services, or Hcbs. Once you click on the arrow under that purple bucket or category, you will find all the trainings that have been linked to this community.
Thank you, Patricia. So another question we actually just got in that I want to address quickly is that someone is saying that they're having an issue when they're clicking on a specific training, the pop-up box where you're requested to type in your name, an address, not your name, an email address, won't actually go away after they've entered everything. So what we would recommend you would do, if that's the case, is to email us at our CTAC and MCTAC email addresses that are on the screen currently with the specific name of the training you're trying to access, and that way we can directly remedy it. Again, you know, we just debuted the website. We're always looking for feedback and ways to improve this. So we want to thank you for bringing that up and just encourage you to email us directly so we can remedy that problem directly.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so next question. So some of the Oasis residential providers are wondering where they can find those specific trainings and resources.
Okay, absolutely. So once again, all that information can be found under Business Best Practices. If you were heavily using the MCTAC website, all the same categories and the same names have been used as that website to kind of help this transition process. So if you are looking anything that you know used to be MCTAC related, or you found it on the old MCTAC website, the best spot that I can tell you to go to and find that information is Business Best Practices. So once again, you'll go into the training section, you'll scroll down so you see the gray and white boxes indicating the 5 institutes. You'll click on Business Best Practices, and you will find all the trainings in the same categories and themes as the old website.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Another question, we actually get this one a lot, so I'm thankful that we got this today. Can we still watch MCTAC and CTAC videos if my office blocks YouTube?
The answer is yes. So if once you find the training that you were looking to find and you place in the information and you gain access to that training, if you click the play button within the website, you should have full access and be able to view the video as well as pause it, stop it, rewind, all the same features as of YouTube, but within the website. However, if you do click on the YouTube link, then you are actually accessing the YouTube website. And if your organization or agency currently blocks that, then you will get that blocked access error message.
Okay, thank you. So here's a specific question about prior webinars and the slides. So when accessing prior webinars on the website, is there a way to hear the audio as this individual is looking through the slides? So with any webinar that we record, we not only put the recording of the webinar on the website, but also the slides.
Yes.
So in fact, you could both watch the webinar, have that playing in the background, and also be reviewing the slides. So great question. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. And the best trick to do that, I would say, is download the training first and open that in the next page, the slides. So you're going to download that document, download the slides, and have that open. And once you have that open, I would click play just so that the screen gets a little bit larger, and so that you can view it and hear the audio and view the slides at the same time.
So someone just let us know that they missed currently our past events section. I'm sorry you missed it, but we are actually, that's something that we're working on currently with our calendar function.
So yeah, so I can speak a little bit more. We just recently placed the CTAC and MCTAC events page. So definitely under recent events that will continue to grow, definitely moving forward. But with our new calendar function that we are currently in beta and testing to make sure that it works, we will have a past section where you can find your events through the calendar and see all of the past events.
Okay. So we're going to give folks maybe another 30 seconds to see if any more questions come in. And if not, we might be ending this a little early. But if you have any more questions, please chat them in. We're going to take 30 seconds to see if any more come in, and we're going to mute ourselves, but we'll be right back. Okay, we want to thank everyone for sending in your questions. Those that we were not able to answer today, we will try and address later on, but we do want to encourage you to please continue to send us feedback directly via the MCTAC and CTAC email addresses we have up on the screen. As Patricia has noted, we have this process of continuous quality improvement. So we take all the feedback, we are looking at the analytics, we're looking at what resources people are going to and using the most. So we are constantly trying to make this a more useful and helpful website and tool for everyone. So if you want to send us some feedback, that would be most appreciated. If you are having issues with specific resources that you're trying to access but are either having a hard time finding or are just not able to actually access, please email us. We definitely want to help you find the right tools and resources. That's what we're here for. So please reach out. And I want to thank Patricia for being a wonderful host today and co-collaborator. We can't always answer all the questions that we get in, so we just want to encourage people to email us, and we will try and email you back with an answer. So thank you again, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.